Welcome to Biztech's Asia's hottest startup show, the show where we feature hot startups across Asia, sharing their entrepreneurial journeys and sharing with us the journey towards becoming Asia's next unicorns. Now, today we feature NextGen, headquartered in Singapore, which is a food tech company developing and commercializing innovative and sustainable plant-based food products such as Tindo. Now, here to tell us more about NextGen is Alex Ward, its Chief Operating Officer. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Now, Alex, give us an overview for a start of what NextGen does and how NextGen was founded.
NextGen is a food tech company. It has its roots in Germany, I'd say, and in Brazil and in Singapore. It was founded by a guy called Timo, who has an 8 or 9 year runway in the alternative protein space. He founded Like Meat in Germany, raised enough money to get that product into a nationwide distribution in Germany, annual sales of about 20 million, and successfully exited from that business 2 years ago, and decided that that wasn't enough for him. He wanted to go in again, and so he put his own capital in to found the company NextGen Foods. He then came to Singapore and was introduced to another guy from the chicken industry and the food distribution industry, and those two people together, the idea for NextGen was born. Tyndall is the first brand under the NextGen holding company. Tyndall is intending to be the global leader in plant-based chicken. We have now gone into a few countries. We're going to talk about that. But that, in essence, is the company. So started with two very charismatic, very enthusiastic, very knowledgeable people with good runway in alternative protein and a lot of experience in chicken and also food distribution.
Okay, and obviously the next very obvious question, you've just joined NextGen. What attracted you to join this opportunity?
Apart from these two very charismatic individuals, is really, for me, a unique point in time. You've got a consumer group who are ready to try plant-based meat. They're ready to try alternatives. They're wanting to do something better for the environment. It's impossible for everybody to ignore that anymore. And animal agriculture is having a huge impact, and people know that, and they want to try, like their awareness is peaked and ready. So that's one thing. The other thing is the availability of investment and money to put behind companies where there's a belief that the business model, the people, the product is right. And then also the access to raw materials, the access to distribution, all of that now coming together at this point in time means that it's the right time to try to build these companies, to launch these companies. We're targeting the animal agriculture meat industry. Yes, there are lots of players there now, but there's plenty of room for new players, and we intend to be that player for chicken.
Okay, Alex, but let me ask you about the health benefits of going plant-based, because there are a lot out there.
Yeah, look, yes, there are. Why do people eat protein? Because your body needs it, right? And when you take animal protein, often there are undesirable fats. They have cholesterol. This is about the product itself, aside from the fact that processing, the way that the chicken is processed, the meat is processed. Animal agriculture is rife with disease and challenges on that front. So we've got plant-based protein to address all of those things, but also I think from a digestibility perspective, a texture perspective, a fat and cholesterol perspective, plant-based protein is better now. The technology is there to make the texture the same. The technology is there to make the taste the same, if not better. And now you can make the products as versatile as you want, so you can use them in any dish that you want. So there's really no reason to buy, when I'm talking about chicken, no reason to buy regular chicken anymore, animal-based chicken. It's an old technology to turn soy, which is predominantly fed to chickens, It's an old technology to turn soy into a protein source that is fit for human consumption. So we've changed that technology, and we're taking the soy directly into a protein that still tastes like chicken, if not.
Okay, and tell us about what's the secret sauce there in terms, and my pun intended, in terms of what you're doing to make this then new technology.
Okay. So we took a look at chickens, and we decided to focus on chicken first. It won't be the last thing we do, but it's definitely the first thing we do. And we broke it down into its different components. So texture and taste and versatility. So your question's about taste. How do we address the taste component? We looked at what makes chicken taste and cook and have the aroma and the versatility that everybody loves from chicken. And it's chicken fat. Fat in any cooking is the best carrier of taste. We all know that whenever we cook ourselves at home.
Yes.
And so we felt, okay, let's recreate the taste of chicken fat from plants. And if you break down what actually goes into chicken fat, and we have some very smart scientists on our team that were able to do that, and then find those components in nature, in plants, and then build it back up again. That's what we did. And we were able to do that. I mean, it's very interesting to see where the flavoring of chicken has come from. It used to very much be with chickens, and then there was avian flu, and people didn't want chicken in their chicken flavored products anymore. So we're like, okay, chickens have to be vegetarian. We're like, okay, let's make vegetarian chickens. And then we looked at eggs, and we looked at different components to use as a starting point to make chicken. And then this whole vegan plant-based industry came along. So we don't want vegetarian chicken now, we want vegan chicken. And we had to reinvent the process for making these chicken flavors, and that's what we've been able to do. And it's world class. The flavor of Tyndall is as good, if not better, than the real thing.
Okay, so Alex, flavor is one component. The other thing that everyone's worried about is the nutritional component. How does it compare to chicken?
So let's take, say, a 100-gram piece of chicken, piece of Tyndall. The protein quality from a amino acid profile, from a digestibility profile, which is important for food, yes, is very similar, right? It's very similar. In real chicken, and we're talking about chicken thigh when it comes to Tyndall. In real chicken, there is saturated fat, which is not good for you. It is in, say, 100 grams of chicken, I've got it here, 2.3 grams of saturated fat. It's 1.8 grams in Tyndall, so that's less. Tyndall is cholesterol free. Tyndall has added fiber, which is good for your digestion. Actually can potentially reduce cholesterol even further. There's no added sugar. There is a little bit of sodium, although not an amount that we're worried about, that comes from the flavor. You know, when you don't have any chicken in flavors, you have to put something in there to make it deliver taste and deliver aroma. Yes. And salt is one of those things, although in a small amount. And so nutritionally, side by side, it is a superior product in those ways.
Okay, and what has been your go-to-market strategy in terms of a retail and restaurant and supermarkets, for example?
So look, we gave this a lot of thought. Our competitors in the plant-based chicken space are going very much retail first. And we've decided not to do that. We looked carefully at two companies that we admire. One is Impossible, one is Oatly, at their commercial strategy. And theirs was very much restaurant, gastronomy first. Build up a brand, build a reputation, get the experts who know how to use products to use them well, and build credibility for the product and for the brand. And that's what we're doing for Tyndall. So we're going chefs first. We develop the product with chefs. And we're distributing it to chefs through our distribution network. And that's what we're going to do in every market that we go into. It's been successful in Singapore and in Hong Kong and Macau. It's going to be successful in the Middle East next week. And as we move into the US market, very much we'll be going with a gastronomy first.
Okay, so that's playing the long game to get the branding right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, in terms of, from a production standpoint, what sort of production facilities do you have, and what are the constraints in terms of growth?
So we've got a very asset-light model. We've raised $30 million in our seed and our extended seed round, but we're not putting any of that into steel. We're not investing any of that in CapEx, in factories, in trucks, in distribution. We're working with partners that are experts in what they do, so that our focus can be branding, R&D, and building those networks. So we have a long-standing relationship with a specialist plant protein manufacturer in the Netherlands, and we have a significant capacity agreement in place with them. And that's enough for us to launch in Asia and in the US, and to start looking at Europe as well.
Okay.
But I don't think that's enough to scale the way that we intend to scale, especially with shipping costs. I got a quote for a container the other day. It used to be $2,000, now it's $20,000. There are lots of factors at play here. So we need to be thinking already about not only our supply chain of soy, and we're very focused, me in particular in the company, very focused on supply chain, but we need to be looking at getting close to our consumers and close to our distributors. So we are very much exploring manufacturing in each of the major regions where we will play, which is North America, Europe, and Asia.
Okay, I want to bring you back to your 30 million of funding. What has been the secret sauce for raising so much capital so quickly? Because you raised 30 million basically in funding rounds in February and July with Temasek and EDB, so big investors.
Yeah.
Tell us, because your competitors have not been able to do that.
No, that's right. And I think it comes down to a few things. One is belief in our ability to create an amazing team. And we have built a high quality team with people from all walks of life and experience. That is certainly one. One is the product itself. It really stands alone. You know, when people taste it, they are usually impressed at how much it tastes like chicken from a texture and taste point of view. And it's not easy to do. Then the ability to build a brand, and we are looking at building a cult brand and driving awareness of that, and people like that. And then the last part is the supply chain, the network that we have set up, the BCP plans that we have in place, so that there is an ability, a true belief that we can scale and scale quickly. Let me give you like the reality. We had 15 months ago a bag of Tyndall dough, unbranded Tyndall dough in a bag in a restaurant in Singapore, 3 buns with Chef Adam, and he cooked it and said, wow, this is amazing. Then we took some investors through, started getting them interested, and the money came. In the last 15 months, we've developed the brand, finalized the product, got it manufactured, secured our supply chain, and launched it in 4 markets, about to launch in the Middle East. And by the middle of next year, will be available across the whole of North America, all within 24 months. This is so we're living up to the promise that we made the investors about scalability. And
also one of the things that I suppose investors are attracted to is the fact that the founder, Timo, basically has built a business like this and exited. So this is part 2, and all the learnings have actually been done.
I'd say yes, absolutely, all the learnings have been done. He brings a lot of credibility, having done it before, and the fact that he is now leading the charge again gives people comfort. What he's also been very smart at doing is surrounding himself with people that are expert in the areas where he is not, and this was a very intentional move. So we have our CEO from the chicken and the food distribution industry. We have our CFO from the investment industry. We have our CTO, who we call the wizard, who is incredible at building products from plants. He's one of the best I've ever met, and we're lucky to have him. We've got a CMO from L'Oreal and Unilever who knows how to build brands. And then I come in with product development, food and flavor industry experience. So that is, I think that's also really something that investors are happy with, and is a direct result of Timo's vision.
So you've just talked to us about your international expansion, which is basically UAE, so Middle East,
Yeah.
Europe, and the US. What's your product roadmap look like? Because you said this is the first product. Tyndall is the first product, is the chicken product. What's in the pipeline?
Yeah, I would say Tyndall is the first brand. Tyndall Thigh is the first product. So Tyndall Thigh is our naked product. By naked, I mean uncoated product that chefs can take and mold, marinate, coat themselves, put into any type of dish. If you have a look on our Instagram page, you'll see the variety of culinary applications for the Tyndall Thigh product. And this is what we're leading with, because this is what chefs have asked for. They want a product that's versatile, that they can put their stamp on and that they can use. But as we go into different types of customers, as we go into different markets where chefs don't always have the time to mold and shape and cook and marinate the product, they want something easy. Either it goes from bag into fryer onto plate, or even in the US specifically, it's just warmed up and plated and or put in a sandwich and served. So we have developed an added value range of coated products. These are now going into full-scale production in our facility. And we have a pipeline of, let's say, other protein sources that we are working on as well. The nice thing about the business model is once the product and the brand can be built and the network and the scalability is in place, plugging the next brand or product in to that should be able to go even faster.
Yes, and it should be a lot easier because once you've got especially the distribution in place and the brand,
exactly,
that's going to take time.
And so circling back to your question about what do investors like, it's like, well, we're showing what we can do with Tyndall, and they know from a product development point of view that there's more coming. And so they can see the route to profitability quite well. And
what sort of runway does this 30 million give you?
I would say, look, we're looking at another round, probably middle of next year. We haven't touched the 30 million yet. We had 2 million of Timo's of his own money to get the company started. We've used that, and now we're just starting to dip into the money that we've raised. So I'd say we are more than covered until the end of next year, but we will be raising more money sometime next year, probably in the middle of next year, to ensure that we really can support the growth across North America and into Europe as well.
Alex, it's been a fascinating conversation, very, very informative. Can you share with us any final thoughts before we end the conversation?
Just that I would encourage everybody to go out and try it with an open mind, and please give us your feedback.
How can we get, if I want to go and try it, how can I do that?
You're in Kuala Lumpur. The product is ready to 100% ready to go in Kuala Lumpur, but COVID has other plans for us. If you personally want to try it, I will arrange for it. If you're in Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, you can go to a restaurant. All of them are on our website. If you're in Dubai or Doha or Abu Dhabi, next week you'll be able to get it. And if you're in the US, just watch this space.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show, Alex.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
We've been speaking to Alex Ward, the Chief Operating Officer of NextGen. I'm Brian Fernandez on Biztech's Asia's Hottest Startup Show. This interview will be on our Facebook and LinkedIn sites, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.